Folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Monday, October 14th. I made it back from my West Coast trip of LA and Las Vegas, covering Penn State on Saturday and the Steelers on Sunday. Flew the red eye, just got here, have not slept. So we're running on an extra large coffee this morning. And I apologize for the lateness of this, but flight didn't land until 9:45 and decided I wanted to get back here to do this instead of trying to do it in my car. It's a little hard when I'm doing that by myself. So last week on this very day, I talked about the quarterback position and how the Steelers needed to really either trust Justin Fields or play Russell Wilson. Clearly, they went and played Justin Fields against the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Fields led the Steelers to a win against the Las Vegas Raiders. It was not a pretty win if you were a fan of offense, especially passing offense. The Steelers' passing offense was putrid. Of all of the quarterbacks who won their games yesterday, Justin Fields had the fewest passing yards. He also got very lucky to not have multiple turnovers, throwing an interception that got overturned by a questionable roughing the passer call. Also had a very poorly thrown sideways pass that was a lateral that Jaylen Warren did well to recover. Here's the thing about what the Steelers should do and shouldn't do right now at the quarterback position. I want to talk about two things here. One, the future. Get it out of your heads. I understand that a lot of people want to play Justin Fields because they think he is the quarterback with a more of a chance to be this team's option long term. Look, we've seen 6 games now. The idea that this is going to turn from what it has been into a championship caliber passing offense, just get rid of it. It's not happening. Another wide receiver isn't going to fix it. More time isn't going to fix it. The problem isn't Arthur Smith. It's not coming. It's not coming. This is not the answer. Okay? So get the future out of your mind. I think that's he can play. He can play here for a while. But the idea that the Steelers at some point in the near future are going to have a dynamic Super Bowl winning passing offense led by Justin Fields, right now there's zero reason to believe that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but there's no rational reason to think that's coming. The passing offense, I was able to rewatch some of the game on the plane. Just atrocious. Probably is worse. Probably he was, even though they won, he was probably even worse in this game than he was in the Cowboys game. Now, he did some great things with his legs. And I think when you're talking about who should play this week against the New York Jets, man, I can make some really good arguments for Justin Fields to start. Like, his legs are a crucial part of why they've been able to have so much success in the red zone. Russell Wilson, not as mobile, not as dynamic of a runner. He's not turning the corner on that fourth down. He's not running that bootleg and running over a guy going into the end zone. Like, he's just not doing those things. Would he run a better passing offense? Yes, absolutely. But the Steelers don't necessarily have a lot of the ingredients they would need to have a great passing offense anyway. I think in this game, guys like Calvin Austin and Van Jefferson and Darnell Washington were open enough that Russell Wilson would have made a big impact in being able to find them. But in the big picture, they do not have enough weapons to be a dynamic passing offense, even if they were getting the quarterback play to get them there. Okay. They also don't have an offensive line that can protect well enough to have that kind of offense. Okay. So, and look, the team they're playing this week, the New York Jets, should be terrifying. Banged up offensive line. This is a really good defense. This would not be the week I would be excited about throwing Russell Wilson into the Wolves, even if you thought that eventually you wanted to play him. So I think you got to forget about the future. I think the idea that this is somehow going to become great is just pure hope. Okay. And I think you can make good arguments for Justin Fields being the better piece for right now, despite obvious lack of success in the passing game. So then what? Well, I go back to last week. They either need to trust Justin Fields or play Russell Wilson. Okay, maybe there's a third lane here. Maybe the Steelers don't trust Justin Fields to be a great passer. Maybe they just play college football. Maybe they just play early Lamar Jackson Ravens. Maybe they just run the ball with the running back, run the ball with the quarterback, and try to throw it as little as possible. Now, that is not a championship-winning offensive recipe. I can't recall the last. I mean, the Ravens have done okay with it, but they've not won a Super Bowl with that. Cam Newton got to one. It's not in anyone's go-to in terms of plans for NFL success. But we talked a lot about the second half of the schedule this year and how it's going to get more difficult. And the Steelers are going to have to stack wins. And they're also going to have to figure some things out about their offense in the first half of the season so that when they got to this very challenging second half of the season, that they were going to be able to, just be able to absorb some losses because you knew they were coming. But two, also, be able to play some higher level football than what we expected them to have coming out of the gate. And there's some cracks forming here in the second half of the Steelers' schedule. It does not necessarily look as daunting as it did. The Bengals look terrible, needed all night to beat the New York Giants last night to go to 2-4. The Browns are 1-5. That's how about this? The Steelers have scored more points than the Kansas City Chiefs. 5 games for the Chiefs, 6 games for the Steelers, so not the same. But this is not like they have not, even though they're 5-0, they have not looked like some unstoppable juggernaut this year. They've not been. Now maybe they'll get better, but this does not. When I look at the schedule now, I think Washington has become a more difficult game than the Clevelands and the Cincinnatis. I think this Jets game looks scary if you're a team like the Steelers because Jets don't give up very many points. I think if I'm looking at the Steelers and I'm forgetting the future and I'm just trying to win as many games as I can this year, I think there is a path to do that by leaning on Justin Fields' running ability, minimizing how much he's throwing, and if they can keep Najee Harris running like he was last week, that can win them a lot of these games. I don't know, it's not taking them to the Super Bowl. We could take them to 11-6 though, and that's not bad. I understand that this is Pittsburgh and the standard is always a Super Bowl, but if you can do something to get you to 11-6, you should probably do it. That's a good season. And so I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what Mike Tomlin's going to do. I doubt that he knows what he's going to do right now. My guess he's going to try to attempt to kick the can down the road at least until the end of this week before he has to make some kind of decision. But I think that they should not trust Justin Fields. They should. In fact, I thought they threw the ball far too much in that game. Far too much. The way Najee was running the ball, he should have had 30 carries. That's just my opinion. But I think there is a way to minimize their passing offense and just be a running team that wins a bunch of games, and then you can figure it out later going forward. In fact, you can even do that for a couple of years because, like I said, they are a lot of pieces away from having that dynamic passing offense. So maybe next year it's the receivers, that they decide they want to add. And then you find the quarterback on the other side of that. If you're winning games while you're trying to figure things out, I think that's a good place in the NFL. I understand that's frustrating for fans who want to win championships and want to see the path to them getting from where they are to a championship be apparent. And with the Steelers, it's not right now. But that's the job. You got to try to win the games that are in front of you. And I think Justin Fields could help them win some games with his legs. I don't think relying on his arm is going to be a successful tact for them anytime soon. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube platform. Go over to SteelersNow.com, churn out a whole bunch of content, writing something about George Pickens right now. I heard a story about Ryan McCollum up that I wrote in O'Hare during my layover. And I've got something coming up on Jeremiah Moon. Got something coming up on the defense and how they turn things around after a slow start against the Raiders. Stay tuned for all that. And I'll be back here with Zachary Smith at 6 p.m. on the YouTube channel or wherever you find your podcast. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching and enjoy.